Okay, just to recap a hugely important thing, let's take a look at subnet masks. They've got a great video, I'm sure, on this, but I just want to, let's jump over here, reiterate what I had said in a previous video. Right here, over on the side here, you've got 192, 168, 134. Now, this is telling us quite a bit. Some of it we don't need to get into right now, but it's showing me that this is a Class C address. It's also showing to me that this is a private IP address that is not recognized on the internet because of the 192, 168, but we get in that networking. What you need to understand is that, yes, we talk about the fact that you need to have an IP number, this number, but you also need to have a subnet mask, and the two together make an IP address. You have to have both of those in order to function. Now, this portion, the subnet mask, is not necessarily used too much on the client computer that you're putting it on, the host, this host that you're putting it on, or the device that you're putting it on. It's used for routing the information and knowing where that information needs to go. So this information is handed off, and when a router sees that information, it knows what to do with it. It's also a way for us as people to logically define things so that we understand what's going on. So what this is telling us here with the 255, 255, 255, 0 is that this last number, 34, is the host. In other words, this is the client's ID. This is the device's ID. Its logical address is number 34. That's what is happening there. So if this is handed out DHCP'd, then this number is going to change, right? This is the number you got. 35 is going to be a number somebody else got. Maybe a printer is 134 or 201 or 7, right? It's handing out the DHCP servers handing out this numbering system with this subnet mask, meaning, hey, when we're looking at what number this computer is, it's this last one. If this was a 0 as well, then we would be looking at these two numbers, and this one could change all the way up to, basically 1 to 254. And this one could change all the way from 1 to 254. And that gives us a much larger set of numbers combinations if this was a 0. And so it's important that this number here, the subnet mask, is the same for every computer that's on that network, while this one is different because that's actually the ID. Now, what I mean by different is it just this last number is different. Or if the subnet mask was 00, then just the last two numbers can change. But the other two numbers need to stay the same because that's the network. Need to be on the same network, but not have the same number for identifying you, right? So that's just a little more on how that works, and hopefully combined with my other video and the video they have, you'll get a much more solid understanding of how that's working. Really hoping that as you come out of this class, you're not dumping that information out of your head, that you're trying to keep it. That way, when you get into networking, it'll be, oh yeah, that's that. Let's now learn more about it instead of, wait, I remember seeing something about this. And that's a state of mind that you have to be in. And honestly, it's hard. It's hard coming from a situation where you may have been in high school where you were doing that, where you're learning and then dumping and then learning and then dumping, to now I need to learn and retain. I need to keep that information. And only you can learn how to tell your brain, hey, don't lose this. Usually that's done with repetition. So as we go through other information that's a lot easier than this, you back up and actually do this again, right? Watch the video again and go, okay, yeah, I remember that. And then back up and watch it again so that by the time you're getting done with the class, you backed up and looked at this IP information over and over again, and it's stuck in your head for good. That's what I'm hoping for. So if you got questions, concerns, let me know.